ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls. Ooh, a little force of habit there. Because that, of course, is from, Years for Fears, the monthly celebration that we were doing in honor of Seth Trapp's birth. But, now that Halloween is over, I think it's time that we switch it up. And that is perfect because it is, in fact, the Switch It Up show. Our, semi-weekly Switch review where we talk about different Switch games on, of course, our favorite console, the Nintendo Switch. And I am joined by my wonderful co-host, Mr. Seth Trav. Seth Trav, how are you?
That's me. Hello, everyone. I am well, because today I'm getting a little medieval with my game. It's going to be taking us over hundreds of lives and years and thousands of generations. It's awesome. We're going to talk about it at the top of the moment.
Oh, now when you say over hundreds of years, are you going in the past or into the future?
You are going into the future.
Oh, the future. Well, you know what? Perhaps I'll join you in going into the future, but not just into the future, in space and beyond. But before we get there, I think we're going to need a little motivation to get us there to these reviews. So enjoy these sweet, sweet tunes for just a few. It's harder and harder every single episode to cut that music and carry on with the show. I feel like we just do one where we just loop that for like 15 minutes.
Loop the entire the album.
That's it. Release it as an episode and be like, you know what? Enjoy this. See how many people like it. But of course, if you like
our Anamana mixtape,
our Anamana Gucci mixtape. That's right.
Yes.
But if you love that music, and of course if you love the show, be sure to leave us a review over on one of the myriad of ways that you're listening to us.
So many.
So many. In fact, let us know over on Twitter how you are listening to the show over at Preachcast so you can get in contact with us, because I want to know how everyone is checking us out. But I have something that I want you to check out, and that is Valfaris, available now on the Nintendo eShop. And ladies and gentlemen, crack your wallet open because it is $24.99.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's
that's a little pricey.
A little bit, my man. A little bit. Normally, I dabble in some of the more economical games, but we're splurging.
Don't we all? Those deals where they're like, pay a penny.
Dude, I feel like we've played.
I'm like, I can't say no.
Yeah. I feel like the last game I reviewed was like $3 or something like that. But
right,
we're playing in the big leagues now. If you want a heavy metal space saga, you have to be ready to pay. So let me hit you with this synopsis. After mysteriously vanishing from galactic charts, the fortress of Valfaris has suddenly reappeared in the orbit of a dying sun. Once a self-contained paradise, the grandiose citadel now plays host to an ever-growing darkness. Therion, a fearless and proud son of Valfaris, returns home to uncover the truth of its doomed fate and to challenge the arcane evil at its very heart. Key features include skulls in space, gore in space, metal in space, savagely reduce foes to piles of gibs with an array of brutal weaponry. Explore a diverse range of tainted environments as you venture ever deeper into the dark world of Valfaris. Dominate ranks of deadly enemies and bosses, from the weird and grotesque, and some that are just grotesquely weird. Gorge your eyes on devastatingly awesome pixel art by handcrafted artist Andrew Gilmore. Feel the power of a seismic soundtrack by extreme metaler and former Celtic Frost guitarist Kurt Victor Bryant. I want 3 first names too, Kurt. Forged from the ground up by the team behind the cult hit Slain, Back from Hell. Set in a far corner of space, Valfaris, I'm getting into this. Valfaris is a heavy metal infused 2D action platformer and the next game from the team behind Unity Art Award finalists hits, slain back from hell brutal combat, deadly enemies, stunning pixel art, savage soundtrack. Get ready to rip the galaxy a new wormhole.
Oh my God.
Man, they are bringing it in the description of this game, and my friends, this game delivers exactly what they are saying. This is a 2D side-scrolling like action platformer game, and it is it's extreme in like all of the ways that it says it is. It's a little bit up there on the difficulty scale. I feel like you really have to be paying attention. This isn't one of the games where you're doing a platformer where sometimes you feel like you can kind of get in rhythm and maybe like go on autopilot. You can't go on autopilot on this game because the enemies are, it's not that they're a little more smart. It seems like in some games and some platformers they kind of follow a pattern, and you kind of find out where you can like sit in a level, and if there's a wave of enemies you can kind of like hack and slash them until they're done and then move on. In this game they kind of come after you a little bit more. I don't know if there's any like AI to some of the enemies that are in this game, but it seems like there's something going on, because if you hang out in one spot too long, they're going to figure it out and they're going to come after you. So you really kind of need to be on top of your toes.
It's as hardcore as the storyline.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's a little difficult. It's not that it's I don't feel like it's like punishingly difficult or anything like that, but it's like if you're playing this game, like this game is bringing it with the heavy metal soundtrack. Like these tunes are like jamming, like they expect you to be like on top of your stuff. You better use that music to fuel your fire if you want to progress in this game.
A lot of double bass.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, there's a lot going on here. But the graphics in this game are awesome. They talk about how they're hand drawn and they look really, really cool. Super retro vibe going on. All times of awesome like blues and purples and pinks, like just like a whole neon.
Very John Wick.
Yeah, very much. In fact, John Wick. Very neon aesthetic, I feel like you would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, super
vaporwave.
Yeah, man, dude, and the weapons in this game are awesome. Luckily you kind of encounter different weapons as you go throughout the game. You'll earn them. There's a little bit of a tutorial as you start playing the game itself. They help you get a little bit familiar with the controls. I played this handheld, just with the two Joy-Cons docked on the side. You can use obviously any method of the controllers. I feel like this is something that kind of this might be good on an arcade stick, just because there are a couple different controls in terms of like where you can how you like run and shoot versus how you can look and then shoot without moving. Because
you're all about the arcade stick anymore,
dude. Now that I have one, I feel like I'm looking for like
you're
any
just
excuse.
Like, can I do anything with an arcade stick? Because I will.
Yeah, I mean, if I can, but I feel like this is somewhere where it helps, because you have.
I'm excited to hear that you purchased that golf ball that just spins
like in Centipede, or I'm gonna be like, listen, I'm gonna be like, you haven't played a game
spinning ball
until you've used this ball. maybe I'll buy one of those for like the next game that we review. We'll see how well that goes over. But I'm telling you, because there's one instance in this in where you kind of have to there's certain targets that you have to shoot, and you have to you have to aim without moving, and you have to hold down a button in order to do that. So it's a little weird to kind of hold it down and then spinning the stick. I just thought to myself, I'm like, if I was using the arcade stick, this would be easier. I could just I could just do it. Not like that all the time. And this is also a very fast-moving game, because there's so many enemies coming around, and they're so many, but they're just so aggressive. When it goes down, you kind of have to be on top of it. And sometimes I feel like the arcade stick lends itself to that. But I really, really like this game. The music is awesome. The effects are awesome. The graphics are great. My biggest, culprit, or my biggest complaint about it might be that it's, I guess maybe two. One, it's a little bit on the pricier side, but I feel like that might just because of all the creative aspects that went into this, going from the hand-drawn level design and the soundtrack. So those people work really hard to deliver a good product to you, so they want to get paid. I understand that. But and like I said, it's also a little bit more difficult than I would have anticipated. But that seems to be something that people really like in a lot of these, more like bullet type shooter games. People want them to be a little bit harder, whereas I lean towards the more casual version of it. That being said, I'll probably give this game, I'm gonna say a 3.5, because for me, I felt like it was a little harder than I wanted it to be. But
the Contra level of difficult.
Yeah, you know what though? But in Contra, you can kind of like run, like I feel like you can kind of like jump and platform your way out of stuff. I feel like the enemies are a little more intense in this one, that you might have a hard time doing that. And sometimes in order to get past certain parts of the level, like it's not just run to the right and you'll get to the boss. Like there's certain enemies, certain things that you have to collect or destroy in order to progress, which I like. That adds some more stuff to it. But you know, because you can't really, like, some parts you have to finish those objectives before you move on. So, like, you know, you got to deal with what's in front of you, you know, which is cool. Like, I like that, but it's a little harder than I would have thought. But don't let my lack of skill in this game, just like, I don't know, change your mind about purchasing this. Definitely check out the trailer. There's like 6 different videos for it over on the Nintendo eShop. That is Valfaris for $24.99, rated M. Gotta put your age in before you watch that, ladies and gentlemen.
My God,
the gore is up there for 2D.
I always say I was born in like 1920.
You're like, I'm almost.
Yeah, I'm a near 100-year-old man
I'm
trying to watch
100.
Valfaris trailers.
That's it.
So, speaking of aged and 100 years, today I am going to be reviewing Reventure. It is $9.99 when you purchase it on the Nintendo eShop. One hero, 100 different endings. It features 100 different endings. Choose your path. Every decision leads to a new ending. Will you find the real one? Is there such a thing? Only one way to know. Lots of aha moments. The world doesn't change with each new game. You do. Well, actually, it does change, but that's a secret for you to find out. It is an action-adventure platformer strategy game by Undefined. Undefined, ladies and gentlemen. And that is how I find myself trying to describe this game. It's very undefinable. Because at first it seems like a platformer, but it's not really, because it really focuses on these very comedic endings, and there are tons. So you could sort of call it like a roguelite game, I suppose, because you're just expected to die over and over and over again. And that's really what this game is about. Figuring out different ways to die. And the ways that you die are, like, you'll pick up a sword and you will accidentally slash a guard, then you're sent to jail, then you can come out like 8 years later and you can trip on a banana peel and then you're dead, and then your heir comes back and this person is now who's going around and they can kill the king, and then they become the king, and then someone comes and poisons them. Like, it's nuts. And then every sort of area you go to has different weird things that can kill you. Like, I got killed by a fish at one point, I think. I blew myself out of a cannon. I fell into some lava. I think I made a deal with the devil. It's insane. And there's even a secret 101st ending at the end of all of this that you can only get if you get all 100 endings. So if you're like me and you love to just, I don't know, if you're a perfectionist, I guess, and you need to collect every single thing, this game is going to be great for you, because there are tons of those aha moments where it's like, oh, cool, I can die this way, or I need to use this specific thing. One of the weird things, too, is that you can't collect every single item. That's one of the deaths that you get. You literally die under the weight of all the items you've collected, which is super weird. But it's awesome, and it's fun, and they give you stupid, goofy explanations as to how you died and why and what your heir is about to do. It's amazing. I absolutely love it. The music is awesome. Graphics, it sort of reminds me of Super Mario World, but if Super Mario World was just 8-bit. Like, it's very, very low quality looking, but you can still tell a lot of the differences in the characters, because sometimes you wake up and you're a burn victim, or you have a cane, or you're bald, or you look like a mummy. Like, it's awesome, all the things that go on. And I highly, highly recommend this game to everyone. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, I am giving Reventure a 4.5 out of 5.
That's a high praise from you, Mr. Setrav.
It is so fun and so addictive. If it wasn't as funny as it is, I wouldn't suggest it. But it's legitimately funny, and it pokes fun at like every sort of video game you've ever played. It's great. It's great. It's absolutely great. They knocked it out of the park on that one.
I figured as soon as you said that, like, you have to be able to collect all the stuff, I was like, they got you.
They did. Because you know how I am. I'm still playing Disgaea 4 because that game can go on forever. And there are so many endings in it, and I will forever be playing that one.
Yeah, man, you've been playing that game on and on and on for dozens of episodes, over for years at this point. You've been playing that game. But the wonderful thing about listening to the Switch It Up show is that despite the fact that you play the same game over and over and over again, if things ever get boring, you can always switch it up.